There's this incredible hidden network of rivers flowing inside you at this very moment. It's absolutely vital, but we almost never talk about it. Well, today, we're diving in and taking a journey through that amazing system, your veins. So, we always hear about the heart, right? How it's this powerful pump pushing blood out to every part of the body. But that's really only half the story. Every single drop of that blood has to make the return trip. So how does it all get back, especially when it's often fighting against gravity? And this is the system that does all that heavy lifting. Just take a look at the sheer complexity here in the neck. It's not one simple pipe. It's this sprawling, branching web of vessels. These are the hidden rivers we're going to explore, and believe me, their job is absolutely monumental. Okay, to really get this, you have to understand one crucial thing. Veins play by a completely different set of rules than arteries. Arteries are a high-pressure system. They get a huge, powerful push from the heart. But veins, they're a low-pressure system. The blood is kind of sluggish, and it needs a lot of help to get back home. And that's what makes their whole story so fascinating. All right, let's kick off our journey at the most critical place of all, the command center. How does blood get out of the incredibly busy and, very well protected brain? Well, the brain, it just has to be special, doesn't it? Instead of using standard veins, it has these incredible structures called dural sinuses. Now, these aren't your typical flexible tubes. Think of them more like rigid, built-in drainage canals formed right into the tough, protective layers covering the brain. Check this out. Here's what that system looks like from the side. That big blue channel you see running right along the top, that's the superior sagittal sinus. It sits perfectly in the groove between the two halves of your brain, acting as a main collector, gathering up all the used blood. Now let's flip our view and look up from the base of the skull. This is where you can see where all that blood is heading. Multiple sinuses all flow together, pooling at this one junction. And it has the perfect name for it, the confluence of sinuses. It's literally a meeting of the rivers before they exit. So from that meeting point, all that blood gets funneled out of the skull and into this, the internal jugular vein. That's the main, thick blue vessel you see heading down. This is the superhighway leaving the brain, the primary escape route carrying all that deoxygenated blood away from the command center. Okay, command center is drained. Now, let's see how that blood flow merges with the return trip from your arms, your chest, and the rest of your upper body. Out in your arms and hands, it's a classic story of convergence. Look at this network. It's like countless tiny creeks and streams all merging together, flowing into larger and larger rivers as they make their way up the arm. And where do all those rivers end up? Right here, the superior vena cava. This is the final collection point for all the blood from your head, your arms, and even your chest wall. See that ladder-like system draining the ribs? It all ends up here. This vessel is the great collector for the entire top half of your body. All right, we've done the top half. Now for the real challenge, the long uphill battle for blood, trying to get all the way back up from our feet and legs. This incredible journey starts all the way down in your feet. Blood collects into this complex web of veins and starts its long, slow climb. A huge part of it travels through the vessel you see running right up the inside of the leg. That's one of the longest single veins in your entire body. Now, as all these veins from your legs and your pelvis start to merge, they form a truly massive vessel. And I mean massive. Get this, the main vein collecting all this blood can be up to 3 centimeters wide. That's wider than a quarter. And here it is, the inferior vena cava, that huge blue vessel. It is an absolute giant. This view just gives you a stunning perspective on its sheer size as it runs up through your abdomen, right next to the aorta. It's collecting blood from your legs, your kidneys, your liver. It is the undisputed superhighway of the lower body. So we've got 2 main highways, right? One from the top, one from the bottom, both heading for the heart. Sounds simple, but nope, there's a fascinating plot twist. Not all blood goes directly back. Yeah, the blood coming from your digestive system, your stomach, your intestines, it doesn't just dump straight into that big vena cava. It has to take a very important detour first, through a special gateway. So why on earth would the body build this extra stop into such a critical system? Well, it all comes down to processing and safety. See, the blood leaving your gut is jam-packed with all the nutrients from the food you just ate. So before it goes back into general circulation, it gets sent through a special vessel, the hepatic portal vein, directly to the liver. The liver then works its magic, filtering out any toxins and processing all those good nutrients. Only then is the cleaned blood allowed to rejoin the main highway. And here's what that special plumbing looks like. This is the hepatic portal system. You can see how all those veins from the stomach and intestines are merging into that one thick portal vein that heads straight for the liver. It's literally a biological processing plant. So the takeaway here is that this whole portal system is just a genius quality control gateway. It makes sure your entire body gets the good stuff from your food without any of the potentially harmful stuff that might have come along for the ride. A truly vital detour. So, we've followed the blood from the brain, the arms, the legs, and through the liver's special gate. Now let's bring it all home. Let's see the final destination for all these hidden rivers. And here they are, the two champions, side by side. On the one hand, the superior vena cava, carrying all the blood from the top half of your body. And on the other, the massive inferior vena cava, carrying everything from the bottom half. At this point, every single drop of returning blood in your body is in one of these two vessels. And their journey ends right here. Both the superior and inferior vena cava empty directly into the top right chamber of the heart, the right atrium. They deliver their deoxygenated cargo, and the circuit is finally complete. From here, the heart will send that blood to the lungs to get reoxygenated, and the entire cycle will begin all over again. It's just incredible when you think about it. This entire complex network of hidden rivers, from those delicate channels in the brain to that massive vein in the abdomen, it all just works silently, perfectly, every single second